Hello, YouTubers. Good afternoon. Hope you can all hear me well. I'm so happy that I'm being made fun of on another channel. That made my day. I gotta tell you, you couldn't have put a bigger fucking smile on my face than to see that video of you just trying to tear apart whatever video it was that you were tearing apart. Good on you. Obviously, I'm far more educated than you, and you're not going to insult me. I have more answers than you have questions. And I've probably answered everything that you tried to, everything that you tried to slant and say, oh, well, whatever. There weren't dinosaurs? And then you showed pictures of, Care Bears or whatever the fuck that was. I don't know. Like some fake little Dragonland cartoons all standing around making confused faces. I'm just going by what the evidence says, extrapolating it. Anyway, that's all I needed to say about that. Thank you. Anyway, to my awake souls, you wonderful people. I was just watching Russell Brand talking, and he keeps talking about how medical science, media are corrupted. He keeps saying it. He keeps saying, he just figured it out, I think, yesterday's video, that he showed like a list of all these shows and different things, and it was this show brought to you by Pfizer, this one's brought to you by Pfizer, brought to you by Pfizer, brought to you by Pfizer, and then he keeps going, and he's like, well, and Pfizer also funded all those, like CNN and CBS and all that stuff, all the news media, Fox too, I'm sure, and then they funded a bunch of the hospitals. They fund doctors' offices. They fund the universities that the doctors all get educated at, and they fund the researchers who are doing the research to figure out how to cure people, and they fund I already said all the media. So and then he's saying, like, so really this has been going on for a long time, and our doctors don't know alternative medicine, and they think that it's bullshit, and they're taught that it's bullshit because they're being taught by big medicine. It's not because it's bullshit. They're just told that it's bullshit by their teachers because they're paid. And I get frustrated listening to you people. It's the same thing with archaeology and stuff like that, and paleontology and all those things, right? If you're an archaeologist and you want to go dig a hole, you got to go to somebody like George Soros or Bill Gates or the Clinton Foundation and say, I need money to dig this hole, and they give you a bunch of money, and then you got to, everything you find in the hole, you got to bring to them. They go through it with you, and then they'll tell you, okay, you're allowed to talk about these things, but not allowed to talk about those things. And then the Smithsonian usually takes those, and they go in the basement, and you don't see them ever again. They're never studied, never looked at, never talked about. It's just gone. Like, you want evidence of it? Go look through newspaper clippings from the 1800s about giants, giant skeletons, human giant skeletons. We were giants back in the dinosaur time too, dummies. Sorry, the dummy thing. I shouldn't be thinking about those people, but it just bugs me, or it doesn't bug me, but I do want to talk to those people. I would love to, in a sense. But then I know, no matter how much evidence is put forward, they're never going to see it or change their mind. Like, like a abused woman, or her husband's cheating on her, and she's like, no, he never would, and no, and even though she knows he is, or whatever, son murdered somebody, and she's like, no, he's a good boy, he never meant it, whatever, blah blah blah, right? He didn't want to shoot his girlfriend or whatever. There's a name. I don't know if that's Stockholm syndrome exactly, or if it's something else. Like, it's denial is what it is. You're just living in denial. And I could, short of God opening up the sky, which is gonna happen, and fucking coming down here and spanking your ass, there's some people that are just never ever ever going to admit the truth. They're always going to believe that false science. And the Bible talks about this quite a few times, right? He talks about the science falsely so called, and scoffers, and says that the science falsely so called will hide in billions, in big numbers. They'll hide in big numbers, meaning like they'll use billions a year, and billions and billions and millions and billions of times, and this and that, right? Everything's in billions and billions, right? It's like the sun thing I was just explaining the other day with the picture at 120,000 feet, and you see the sun and the hot spot in the center of the picture, all the land behind the sun, and you can see the sun, and you can see space above the sun, or like nothing, black, and you're seeing the space under the sun. It's all here, all in frame. Do you realize that's impossible? If it's 93 billion miles away, a million miles away, that's totally impossible. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Anyway, the point was, the Russell Brand thing, he keeps talking about how the medical industry, it's corrupted and this and that. Well, guess what, dummy? All the industries are like that. All the universities are like that. All of science is like that. Right down to what you're being taught in elementary school. And if you knew the truth, you'd know God, and you wouldn't allow the world to be run the way it is. It's just that simple. So they had to put doubt in the Bible, and the heliocentric model puts doubt in the Bible. And if one thing has doubt, then what else can we doubt? And then we doubt everything, right? It was Satan's greatest fucking trick he ever pulled, right? Since he got Eve to bite the apple, right? He must be proud of himself with this one. And he's got his hook, line, and sinker. And even if you're young to this stuff, and you're just getting started in it, it was so fucking hard to shift out of it altogether. There's so much doubt all the time for fucking probably 5 years. Like, even though you're seeing it, you're going and you're doing experimentation and all that stuff, the brainwashing is just incredible, right? And it's you've been taught this shit since you were a child. So of course the brainwashing's incredible. It's got to be, right? It's got to be effective at that level. And then it's in all your entertainment and everything, and then you've weaved that into as your spiritual belief and everything. It's all weaved together now, right? And I've seen Catholics defend it over the Bible. I've seen Christians defend it over the Bible too, which is sad. Really, it's sad. But the Bible talks about that too. It says that 2/3 of Christianity will fall away in the last days. So even most or all of your church could fall away, depending on what church you're at. If you're not at a good one, if you're down this path and you're learning all this stuff, and you'll soon be able to recognize the Holy Ghost, and like when somebody has it and when they don't, if it's pouring out of them or not, and whether or not they have the actual discernment and everything to make their knowledge into wisdom. So, Russell Brand, it's not just medical science that's corrupt. All of our science is corrupt. Right to the core. And it's not just something that's been just new, recent. Actually, Dr. Hovind proved 25 lies in the textbooks in 1997 to the Texas School Board. I think it was 97. It was right around there. For some reason, I think 97, but it could be wrong. So, in the 90s, he proved 25 lies definitively, all surrounding age of the earth and evolution. And without those lies, evolution and age of the earth science has nothing to stand on, and it actually all points to a young earth. The school board said, we don't like the word lie. We prefer to call them misrepresentations. And they never changed any of it. So I prefer, so does Kent Hovind, plain English that can be understood easily and not mistaken. And you, school board, are a bunch of liars. You're not misrepresenting anything. You're upright, straight out lying. No two ways about it. Yum. So, it was all your missing links were proven to be falsified, or at the very least, merely unplausible at all. Like Lucy, she's the most famous one. Buddy was coming right to the end of his grant, so he went and he hired a whole bunch of natives to wherever he was searching there, and he hired them all and he sent them all out and he said, just bring me bones. I don't care what they are. Bring me any bones that you can fucking find. Bring them to me. And Lucy was found spread out over a mile, and all that she was, they found the only thing that was weird about her was that she had long femurs, and they were straight like a human's, not curved like a gorilla. And in order, gorillas are bow-legged like that, and chimps and all that, their femurs are different. They're curled a little bit, and Ours are straight. So, but there's tons of monkeys that have straight femurs. And this set of bones was tiny for a human. And then they try to say that people were smaller in the past. Look at all the fucking giants I was just talking about a fucking 10 minutes ago. People weren't smaller in the past. You guys are liars. Anyway, and then so all it was a tall monkey. They never found her head. Another missing link. They found a toe bone, and they created an entire human missing link and his wife from that toe. Like, it was just a fucking toe. It was an abnormal toe. It could have been broke a couple times or whatever. Lots of fucking people. Everybody's feet are different shaped. And this guy probably didn't own shoes, so his fucking toes, he might have used them grabbing and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, a lot. So they were weird shaped. It was a weird shaped toe. That's it. Like, it wasn't evidence of a missing link. But they'll grab anything. Another one was they found this cave full of gorilla bones, but there was a whole bunch of like human bones in there as well, all mixed together. And so they're like, holy shit, they were all living together, and they fucking, they must have been having babies together and on these bones, and they started mix-maxing skeletons and stuff like that. They didn't tell you that there was a bunch of tools in there that were used to smash the skulls open of the gorillas and shit like that, and the people were all smashed up too. It seemed like there was a fight over the cave. Like there was a war in there, a battle in there, or something like that, and a bunch of fucking death happened. And you guys just found it. That's it. Like, probably some people walked into a cave in like a rainstorm or something, and the gorillas were already in there, and then they were like, whoa, fuck. Or the gorillas were fucking with them and they wanted to get rid of them. So they hunted them down and found them in the cave and fucking killed them. And a couple people died in the process. Or all of them might have died. Who knows? It might have only been one or two that actually survived and fucking crawled out of there. That's why they just left everybody else in there. You know? Who knows? But it wasn't missing links. That doesn't make sense. Your conclusions are fucked. Like the bowling ball and the feather fucking thing. The fucking earth moved to them. The bowling ball and the feather stayed still. Still doesn't explain why they fell at different rates or whatever. Like, it was buoyancy law, you fucking moron. That guy bugs me. That NASA's fucking, I don't even want to learn his name. David, I think. Anyway. Fucking crazy the amount of information that I've got in my head. So, all those 25 lies disproved your fucking geologic timescale, which is the holy grail of Earth aging science. It's nothing. It's nothing. They found it in the right order 20 times in all of Earth, or something like that. And I don't even think it was 20. I think it was 18. But it might have been 28. Who knows? But they find it in the wrong order. Thousands and thousands. Everywhere else. Everywhere else. It's different. So it's not science. It's nothing. It's just bones in the dirt. And what it is evidence of a flood. Water sorts things, right? And if, let's say, water calms down, it's going to sort things differently than if it's moving still. and things are getting dropped like rocks. And then it would sort things differently again by density and buoyancy and all that kind of stuff, right? Because what, like a tree floats until it gets waterlogged, then it sinks, right? And that's why we find trees in the upside down position going through multiple layers of not the geologic timescale, just layers, right? But we'll find layer of coal, layer of petrified stone, layer of coal, single trees going through them all over the world. Thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of those fucking fossils all over the place. But the ones that are upside down are a real problem for you guys. And we find them all over the fucking place. Like all over the earth. And a lot. Enough that it's a big problem for you. It's not like we just found them one time in this one dig, you know, which you could say then, oh, well, that was just a localized flood. No, all over the earth. You just got nothing. Except you got your authority figures. That's all you got. So it's a religion. It would be fine with me if you guys would just admit that and just say it's all theory. There's no science behind it. It's our religion, and this is what we're going to choose to believe, even though there's no reason to. You know, even though it doesn't make any logical sense for us to believe that, we want to. And because we're religious fundamentalists or whatever, right? And then, that'd be cool. We'd be fine with that. We'd be good, you and I. But when you call science, like the real part of science, all the evidence-based stuff, you say is religion, and then you take all this theory that has no evidence and say that it's science. That's what pisses me off. That's like the biggest reason that I do any of these videos, right? Because before I was even a flat earther, I was a young earther, right? Like, and no evolution. It's physically impossible. And I know you're all gonna say, oh, well, we made the prebiotic soup in the lab. Yeah, kind of, but it didn't work. And it didn't breed, and it died in the oxygen, but it needed oxygen to survive, and it couldn't breed in water because the male and female particles tend to separate from one another, not be attracted to each other in water, and it had nothing to fucking eat. Right? And it needed energy, but the energy needed would have been a shock of lightning, and that had to be in a non-oxygen environment, and then it had to be strained and have all this fucking shit done to it through a bunch of tubes and stuff, and then it ran through a last tube, and they put it into the oxygen environment in order to keep it alive, and then it separated, and then it died in the oxygen because it oxidized, and then so they put it in water, and it separated. So, rain on the rocks for millions of years isn't the magic trick. It's not how life was created. It rained on the rocks for millions of years. So, it's fucking water on rock. There's nothing there. What are you talking about? The whole fucking theory is just stupid, right? Big Bang, everything fucking condensed to nothing. To a dot so small that, I forget who it was, but it was some famous scientist that said we could speculate one step further and say that it went to nothing, though matter cannot be created or destroyed. That's like a law of physics. And all things tend towards chaos, including your DNA. You're not getting better with time. Everything gets worse, weaker, shittier with time. Not better, worser. Worser. I'm so happy that you guys. I hope you just hate this video too. Um. So, to the educated people, the people who can understand this, like I was saying earlier, that person who's just growing on this journey, push hard for real information. Find the School of the Hebrews Christian Church, join it, and study to show yourself approval. It's right in the Bible that you have to give answer to the faith that's in your heart to any man who asks of it. And I don't even need to be asked. I'm just going to volunteer it to you. Yeah. I guess the point of this video, in its completion, was to talk about the Russell Brand thing and how it's not just one industry. If you're just waking up to that just the medical industry's corrupted and it's this and it's that and blah blah blah, keep looking, push hard. Look up Kent Hovind, Dr. Dino, they call him. Learn. These are good people to learn from. Don't go to Eric Dubay or whatever his name is there. I didn't like that guy. I don't think he's all that keen. A lot of the things he was saying, because he was saying that there was no dinosaurs and things like that ever. And just the way he was saying it, it got ripped apart really easy. It was a straw man argument, is what it seemed like to me. So you don't want to just be standing on a straw man argument, because then anybody can just knock you over. That's the whole point of it. Don't be Geraldo. Yeah. So. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. So have a wonderful day, YouTubers. I hope that you find all the information and knowledge and wisdom and discernment that you're looking for. Understanding. Pray for those 4 things: wisdom, discernment, understanding, knowledge. You get them in the opposite order than that. I said it backwards. Because you gain knowledge, and then with discernment and understanding, you turn it into wisdom. So those are things that you got to pray for. Peace and holiness and all that other stuff. Faith. You can ask for faith. Pray for things. Ask God for things. If you ask Him, He will start pouring it on you. Just keep asking. Push and push and push and push. When it comes to things like that, ask every single day. Just make sure you say it to Him every day, every day, every day. And He'll fill your brain faster than you can, maybe twice as fast as I got my brain filled. And then